Good morning, everybody. We'll try and make a start. If you're getting a coffee, then carry on doing that. Otherwise, grab a pew. Welcome to One Church. My name's Dave, and I'm one of the ministers, pastors, leaders, caretakers here. And it's great to have you with us this morning. These August Sundays are often quite different. Lots of people away. Inevitably, some people visit. So if you're in that category, it's great to have you with us. And today we are continuing these little series that we're having during the school holiday months, where we have a panel. And last week, if you were here, it was the Sunday after it was Pride weekend in Brighton, and we had a panel thinking about that. This week we are thinking about ageing, and I'm really looking forward to... See, titters? No, not Asians. Ageing, Andy. Quite a niche panel. We're talking about ageing. So many things I want to say, and all of them inappropriate. We're going to think about ageing today, and I think it's a really important topic. I'm looking forward to us thinking a bit more about it. I don't think we talk about it very often, hardly at all that I can think of in the life of this church. And we don't talk about it in society very much. So I'm really, genuinely was looking forward to leading this one and thinking about it today. But before we do that, we're going to sing together some songs. We're going to have a little conversation with each other about something and try and make people feel welcome in this space, because that feels really important to us. But let's just kind of prepare ourselves to do something deliberately different. You know, I often feel, because Becky and I just celebrated our 17th year since we moved to Brighton, which is mad, isn't it? And leading this church. And there are plenty of Sundays where I wake up and think, oh no, not again, if I'm being honest. There's majority more services where I'm really genuinely looking forward to coming and being part of my community. But I always try, and when I walk up the hill, I always try and say to myself, why am I doing this today? Why am I here? And finding a kind of why really helps with most things in life. Why are you here? Some of you, it would just be routine, you haven't really thought about it. But I wonder why you're here today. What is it you might hope for? We've got until roughly 12 o'clock together, so you may as well be here, you may as well be present. But I wonder what your kind of why is. And this might be a slightly odd thing to do, but it's something I've done a bit recently after reading a book. Just if you'll just join with me, put one hand on your heart for a second, and one hand on your tummy. Take a couple of breaths. And before we sing together, I want us to just ask ourselves internally two questions. As you feel the hand that's on your tummy, how do you feel as you sit in this room? The stomach is really where that emotion sits, isn't it? How do you feel today? We're just going to pause and ask ourselves that question. And then when you're ready to move on to your heart, I want you to ask yourself the question, what do I want today? Let's just be quiet and still and ask yourself, how do I feel as I sit in this space? What do I want? What do I want? What is my desire? You're not going to share this with anybody else, so be honest to God as we just sit in a couple of moments of quiet together. God, I thank you that we can bring our whole selves to you. Not just our minds and our thoughts, but our bodies. Our hopes, our fears, our desires. And God, we give you these feelings that we have. Some of us, a deep sense of comfort and safety as we sit here. Perhaps others, fear and anxiety. fear about some things coming up in this week or that are happening in our lives, and maybe anxiety about just even things we can't even name, but the feeling's there. And God, we bring you the desires of our heart. The Bible tells us that you know them. And we share our hopes with you today. In Jesus' name. Amen. If you'd like to stand, then please do. I'm going to put some words on the screen just before we sing. We're going to say, I thought it would be nice to just say the words of a psalm together. The Psalms are the bit in the Bible that are full of kind of guts and heart, people just being honest. And this psalm was written, it seems, after some healing came to the person that wrote the psalm. And I thought this might just be nice to read through. So we'll read it through twice. The first time so that you can scan it, and the second time to see whether you can kind of own it. And so if you'd like to say the words together, let's say, I praise you, Lord, because you have saved me and kept my enemies from gloating over me. I cried to you for help, O Lord my God, and you healed me. You kept me from the grave. I was on my way to the depths below, but you restored my life. Sing praise to the Lord, all God's faithful people. Remember what the Holy One has done, and give God thanks. God's anger lasts only a moment, their goodness for a lifetime. Tears may flow in the night, but joy comes in the morning. You know what it says. Let's see if we can say it. And what parts of it can you say that you really mean? And what parts stir you because you'd like to be able to mean them? Let's say together again. I praise you, Lord, because you have saved me and kept my enemies from gloating over me. I cried to you for help, O Lord my God, and you healed me. You kept me from the grave. I was on my way to the depths below, but you restored my life. Sing praise to the Lord, all God's faithful people. Remember what the Holy One has done, and give God thanks. God's anger lasts only a moment, their goodness for a lifetime. Tears may flow in the night, but joy comes in the morning.
Bless the Lord together. And bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship his holy name and sing like never before. Oh my soul, I'll worship your holy name. So I won't lose my mind over every single little thing. There's a wisdom in the wildflowers. They don't toil and they don't spin. So I won't lose my mind over every single little thing. In my longing, in my waiting, will your presence be enough when I'm fearful, when I'm doubting? Will I have the strength to trust? In my longing, in my waiting, will your presence be enough when I'm fearful, when I'm doubting? Will I have the strength to trust? You're the first, you're the last, you're forever. You're the one who brings spring out of winter. You're the promise and you are the keeper. You're the one who holds all things together. When I'm grieving in my soul, will your goodness steady me when I'm blinded, when I'm hopeless? Will I have the eyes to see? You're the first, you're the last, you're forever. You're the one who brings spring out of winter. You're the promise and you are the keeper. You're the one who holds all things together. You're the first, you're the last, you're forever. You're the one who brings spring out of winter. You're the promise and you are the keeper. You're the one who holds all things together, together and together. You're the one who holds all things together, together and together. You're the one who holds all things together. And together, you're the one who holds all things together. And together, you're the one who holds all things together.
Thanks. Do have a seat. Welcome if you missed the welcome at the beginning. It's good to have you with us here today. We're just going to do a little, I should say exercise, but there's no way I'm doing any exercise. We're going to do a thing where we say hello to some people around us and just be sort of friendly. That feels an important value to us. And so often we sort of give you a question to think about if it just helps you to say hello to some people around you. And you can not play, you can just say I'd rather not say anything, and that's absolutely fine. You could be really brave and actually move from your chair and go and say hi to somebody. And you could go and say hello to somebody you've never spoken to. Would be even better. But the question today, tied in with what we're thinking about throughout the service, is, I'm not quite sure how to phrase this, but what do you think about when you think about aging? What comes to mind when you think about, I want to use the phrase, growing old. And already, what I was going to do was get you to turn to people around you and tell them your age. Isn't it funny how like that is a thing of like, oh, you don't ask people their age. You certainly do not ask ladies their age. I've been told that before. Weird. But you don't ask people their age. That tells you something about aging, doesn't it? It tells you something, particularly I think about our society, that I couldn't bring myself to ask you to be vulnerable enough to tell people your age. There's an author called Lindsay Simpson, I think, I might talk a little bit about later, but she talks about that she's level 56. And that's quite nice. As though you've defeated the final boss of level 54 and now you're on level 55. So I'm level 55, to shock some of you in the room. It was a tough paper round that I had. But you could share your level if you want to, but I want you to just generate questions. And I kind of thought maybe we could do this via some sort of technology, and then I couldn't work it out this morning. But imagine we were going to just give our words, and they were going to appear on the screen behind us as a word cloud. What would be the most common words that come up when you think about becoming old or older? Yeah? So everyone can play this game, but if you think about aging, becoming older, what are the words or thoughts or emotions that come to mind? Yeah? Go for it. You've got 4 minutes. Go and be friendly. Let me interrupt you there. So sometimes we don't get feedback on these things, but reminds me to say hello to people who join us online. Plenty of people do that, so welcome if you're watching at home or listening at some other point in the week. It's good to have you. But for the sake of those people, let's just imagine we're doing this word cloud and just shout out some words. And don't feel you have to be politically correct. Just say, what are the words that you might associate? Come on, be brave. Birthdays. Freedom. Opportunity. You're being politically correct here, but this is great. This is great. Or not politically correct. Pastorally sensitive. Privilege. Thank you. Helpful. Scared. Wisdom. Aches and pains. Wrinkles. Accidents. Confidence. That's interesting. Hips and knees. Head, shoulders, hips and knees. Better than the alternative. Good answer. It's gone over a few people's heads, but chattable. More likely to chat to people. Okay. More regular with the GP, getting to know your GP. Body check. That's my new band's name. I love that. Lost. Loss. Grief. Confidence. Change. Independence. Self-knowledge. This is great. But I wonder if you were doing an anonymised thing on the street, if they were the questions, if they were the things that you get back. Lindsay Simpson, who wrote a book called The Age Rebellion, that I'd recommend the first half of. She, like life, no, it's a joke. She does a lot of research about ageing, and wherever she goes around the world, she asks people to do what we've just done together. And we've kind of either disproven or we weren't quite saying what initially comes to mind. Because she said the number one thing that people say in the West is memory loss or Alzheimer's or dementia. The number two things they say is about your body's not being able to do what they used to do, aches and pains. However, she says that in the East, whenever she does any work there and asks this question to the groups of people that she works with, the overwhelming number one thing that comes back time and time again is wisdom. And I want us to just chew that over, that we live in a part of the world that sees a lot of negativity around aging, when a whole other part of the world says it's a privilege to grow old because wisdom comes to you. And have we lost some of that rhetoric? And that's what we're going to be thinking a bit more about as the service goes on. Leanne is going to come and bring us some little up-to-date thingies about things in the life of the church. Thanks, Leanne.
Hello, good morning. We have no slides. You really have to listen intently, and
It is on.
it's on. Doot, doot. There we go. Good morning. Don't know why that was the noise I chose to make, but here we are. I've got no slides, so you're going to have to listen intently. Next Sunday after the service, we have the community meal, which we host here on the third Sunday of every month. We always need more volunteers for that, so if you can hold some space for a couple of hours after the service next week to join in with that, that would be great. This is your advance notice. I think we're going to be saying this every week. There will be no service here on the August Bank Holiday weekend. Lots of people will be away. Many of us will be at Greenbelt. You can, of course, peruse our back catalogue on YouTube if you really need a dose of one church on that morning, but there will be no service here. The week after that, I'm very excited about this. We've got a British poet who now lives in the States, who's pretty big on Instagram. That's where I found his work, David Gate. He really just kind of brings what is going on, like dealing with everything that's going on in our world, but holding on to joy and the mess and the beauty of all of that. So really recommend coming along to that event. From September, we're going to start having Saturday once a month where you can get out to Rock Farm. So if every time people are talking about how awesome it is to go and volunteer at our market garden, Rock Farm is, and you get annoyed because you just can't get out there in the week, on the third Saturday of the month, from September, we're going to start running a session out there, which I'm very excited about. So start getting that in your diary. And the final thing that I want to mention, because this is going to be something that needs a little bit of thinking about and mulling over, is our project, our creative project that we're starting around Partnership Sunday, which is at the end of September, is we're going to be publishing an almanac, leaning into the seasonal rhythms and thinking about our feasts and the solstices and the equinoxes and local history and personal history, and just gleaning the creativity of this community. So it could just be a doodle that you've done on the back of a receipt. It could be a poem that you've written. Recommend going and looking at your notes on your phone from October, November and December last year, so we can kind of really have a seasonal feel to that material. And myself, Anton and Mark are working on that. We're going to have some sessions here as well where you can come along and do some of Anton's amazing creative writing and try out different things. So there was an email that went out yesterday morning which has got more information. If you're still not clear, come and chat to me or refer back to that. Here endeth the notices.
Brilliant. Thanks, Leanne. Good stuff. And do follow up on that almanac stuff. I think it's such a lovely idea, and it'll be as good as the contributions we get. So get thinking about that. If you don't know what an almanac is, Google it. And that brilliant kind of way for us to go through a bit together, looking at poems or recipes or pictures or whatever as we get into that season. So please play along with that. If you are in junior school age, you're going to go out. And in fact, Maddie, just come up here 2 seconds. Just tell us quickly, because it's good to know these things. What are you doing? Hopefully you planned something, but what are you going to do with the kids today?
Complete surprise, but that's okay. So we're actually starting a new little series today that we're going to be going over the summer and in September with, looking at the book of Jonah, which is quite fun. It's got 4 chapters to it, so we're doing kind of a chapter per week and just picking it apart bit by bit, which is going to be nice. So yeah, and hopefully doing a craft that lasts those 4 weeks. Probably all with different children, but we'll all get their part in it. So that'll be nice.
Cool. We'll have a whale of a time this morning. And Buds is open. So if you've got little preschool people, there's a room over at that side of the building that's got a screen with the service on it, and you can go and play with keep your kids there. If you're in junior school and you want to go out now and follow Maddie, then go and do that. For the rest of us, we're going to sing again, and let's just be aware of the kind of gear change that it takes for these songs to be kind of more than just songs. It's okay that they're just songs. I think that's good enough. But the reason we do this, I think it's twofold, and it's always good to remind ourselves, again, coming back to the why. Doing something together feels lovely. Just this morning, hearing your voices, hearing us fill the room together, there's something beautiful and profound about it. It's why there is this huge upturn in people joining choirs and wanting to sing together. So that in itself is a beautiful, God-pleasing, spiritual thing. But then also we've got some words that other people have put as poems that we sing, and those words can be really transformative to us, or profound, or beautiful, or put into word. Some of the words that we can't find ourselves. Sometimes the words are unhelpful for where you're right at the moment. But either way, let's just take a little beat to just be aware that we're sitting here in the presence of our Creator, who sees us and knows us and loves us and has been faithful. It's one of my strongest moments where I can somehow feel faith rising in me when I look backwards and think about the faithfulness of God in my life. Sometimes Sometimes I worry that he's here today, or what sense God is going to be to me in the future. But there's something about looking back and seeing the faithfulness of God that helps my faith to reappear. Maybe you want to do that. Just give thanks in your heart for the moments where you were aware that God's been faithful to you. If you're able and if you'd like to, please stand and let's sing together.
Though the music changes and the songs we sing, we still lift our praises to our loving God and King. Though the music changes and the songs we sing, we still lift our praises to our loving God and King.
We are doing this series. It's important to remind you the kind of logic behind this second tranche of stuff that we've done about God in the transitions. That this belief that there is a particular richness when we're in threshold kind of moments. There is a kind of perhaps brokenness. There's an opportunity to really know something new about God, or for God to do something in your life or speak to you or know you in a fresh, different way when you're transitioning from one thing to another. And those transitions happen sometimes through things that are out of our control, and other things, they will happen. We will just get older. And it feels really important to talk about this because we all have this in common. Some of the subjects that we've looked at, we've basically said just try and have empathy for people who have a different sexuality or gender to you. Have empathy. It's coming up next week about people who are different life faith stages. The week after that, about the menopause. At least half the people in the room could potentially be going, doesn't impact me. But as the people of God, what we're doing is we're saying what impacts you does impact me. We are deeply connected together. And how do we build this kind of sense of empathy? I was talking to a friend yesterday about this season of life that I'm in, that nobody really talks about. You know, we talk about childhood, we talk about adolescence, we talk about adulthood, and then we talk about old age. And adulthood might be the largest stretch within that, but we don't talk about the transitions that happen within that. Nobody told me that I was going to sleep solidly for 45 years and then not. Hello, that would have been a helpful heads up. Nobody told me that at some point, as someone who has children, I was going to say goodbye to them and they would fly the nest, and that sounds all lovely and poetic when it actually broke my heart, and nobody warned me that that was coming. I'm amongst a generation who are the first part in my life amongst people who are around me, other church leaders who I meet with, all of them wanting to say, aren't you just so looking forward to retirement? At this age, you know, the average life expectancy, I wonder if you could guess, in 1841, what was the average life that you think people might have lived to, average age? Anybody guess? 37, 45, pretty good in between that. 40 if you're a male, 42 if you're a woman. In 1841, 1920. Some of you, that's just, you've got, you might have been born there. Unlikely. I'm not going to make any judgments, but certainly your parents would have known that generation. 1920, what do you think the average age was? 56, if you were a male. If you were born in 1920, your average life expectancy was 56. 6 years, no, the maths has left me. Loads of years before you'd retire. The current retirement age, women would live to 59. Last year, 2025, average age, if you're male. What did you say? 80 and 83. Those figures were really impacted by COVID and the way that they do life expectancy. Actually, they're talking about children born today should really expect to live 100 years without external circumstances in the West. Isn't that kind of mind-blowing? And yet retirement age is set, and it was set at really the day where they thought you were going to die. People are living 30, 40 years past that retirement age. And we're not talking about this growing group of people. And there is fear, I think, about aging because society is telling you that the best thing to be is youthful. The amount of products that are currently on sale to slow down aging. The creams that you can put on your face, the food that you will eat, the lifestyle plan that you can sign up to so that you don't age, because aging is a terrible thing. They might not say that, but that's the subtext, isn't it? Of youthfulness being so important, and yet the ridiculousness of trying, like King Canute, standing at the seashore, telling the waves not to come in. We will all just age at the same pace, and nothing is going to change it. And how do we embrace it? How do we celebrate it? How do we see the good in it? Because there is good in every stage of life. I know that we would all know that. And that's part of the panel that we're going to chat to about some of their questions. And, you know, just to go over the same point, really. But I was trying to come up with the right words to say to these people. Will you come and be on a panel about being old? And feeling like I bet, when we did the adolescents, Anton wasn't going, oh, this is so awkward saying to this person, would you come and chat to us about being young? Isn't it fascinating, the shift in values? And a bit of anxiety in me, so I just did it as straight as I could and said, we're going to talk about aging, would you be up for it? And 4 people said yes, and somebody was ill, Nikki, last night, and which is a real shame because I would love to have heard from Nikki. But the 3 people who I'm going to get, and there's no suck-uppery in this is just my honest overflow of how I feel. The 3 people you're about to hear from are amongst 3 of the best people who I know. I genuinely mean that, and have masses of respect. So I feel massively humbled in what we're about to do. These aren't just random old biddies that I've invited up. These are people who I want to be like now, and I would very much like to be like when I'm their age, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So please, welcome Mark and John and Lily. Give them a round of applause as they come and join us. Lily, why don't you sit here and use that one, and then John and Mark, if you can share that mic, is that okay? Well, welcome to the Thursday Murder Club. I sent questions to these guys, but I don't know how they're going to answer, and that's part of the fun of doing these things. And there's deliberately kind of provocative little bit in my first question is they're going to introduce themselves by telling you their name, their age, and something they've achieved in their life that they're proud of. So Mark, why don't you kick us off if that's okay?
1, 2. Age 71.
Level 71.
Yeah, level 71. Achievements. Well, in 3 different areas. I've got 3 children, and I love them very much.
Just because one of them's in the room.
I'm proud that they've grown up as caring and considerate and people with a very strong social conscience. So that's the main thing I'm proud of. In my working life, I was proud that in the job I did as a head teacher, I managed to create in 2 schools a lovely atmosphere where children could thrive and learn in an atmosphere where they were valued for all their different types and so on, and a staff that felt they were valued too, all of them, and that they were part of something important. And then I'm proud of this group of people to be part of this. I think this is something wonderful and special here with a lot of very special people.
Thank you, Mark. John, same
Who
question.
knew that Mark was such a softie? Good morning, folks. I'm John. I'm 76, and I'm proud of my family, including my fostered family, and I don't know that I can consider it an achievement. I mean, I've had input, but they're great. They're great. Maybe partly because of me and partly despite me. Yeah, they're good, doing well.
Thanks, John. Lily.
Hi, I'm Lily, or Lil. I'm 86, and I'm very proud to belong to my husband and our 4 children and 7 grandchildren, which keep us on our toes.
9 grandchildren,
Oh,
apparently.
yes, sorry, 9.
You can't disown any of them, there.
Memory loss. In my first working life, I trained to be a primary school teacher back in the 50s. My memory goes back a long way, you see, all my life does. And the college was in a Deptford, which was then a London slum. And I was absolutely appalled at the level of poverty amongst the children there. And so I vowed that I would always teach in very poor areas, because I had a real heart for those kids. And I hope that in my teaching life, I was able to let them know they were loved and that there was hope. So that was my aim.
Brilliant, brilliant. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to have time to ask you every person every question, but let's kick off. John, why don't you kick us off with, is your age something you think about often? And does your ageing feel like a blessing or a burden to you?
I feel that I'm quite often confronted by my age, so I'm quite often
A little bit closer. That's all.
quite often conscious of my age, both as a blessing and as a burden. It's there is a definite benefits of being old, and if I behave like a cantankerous old git, the people sort of are more inclined to overlook it, so there are good things, but you're also aware that some things are not always as easy as they were when I was younger.
Thank you. Lily, what about you?
I try not to think about my age at all. I told Dave that I felt about 65. I'm a fairly energetic person, and I keep active. I know that keeping active is very good for not getting old. So I keep active, and we're blessed with so many friends that we do loads and loads of stuff with. So really, quite honestly, I don't feel my age is a burden at the moment.
Fantastic. Mark, it's sort of a similar question really, but what have you found has got more difficult as you've grown older? And what is something that now comes easier to you?
Well, the hard stuff is a bit like John. You're very aware of your physicality, so everything physical, from doing stuff in the garden to playing football on a Tuesday night to cycling, all of that stuff is more difficult. And things like reading now, although I've printed this out in big type, I'm still having trouble seeing it. And keeping up with IT stuff. Used to be very slick with that stuff, but obviously you lose that. What comes easier, it's not necessarily the same for all old people, but it's a bit easier to be generous with money now, because in our 20s and 30s, money was really difficult and tight. Now it's a bit easier to be generous and giving a bit more.
Thank you. John, is there things that have come easier or more difficult as you've grown older?
Yeah, more difficult, like Mark said, information technology. I used to love it when I was younger, and now no sooner have you got your head around something, but it moves on, and you're left behind again. And it just takes longer to get to grips with these technicalities. And talking about technology, while I was singing earlier, my watch buzzed me to announce that my heart rate was 120. I thought I was quite calm about it this morning. Stupid watch. Something's easier, did you say? It's easier to be myself, I feel. I felt a little bit of background, maybe. I spent most of my childhood in rural Ireland, where the four of us, me and the three siblings, made up a third of the school that we went to. It was a quiet, out-of-the-way place. We all play together, playtime, the boys and the girls, whether we had a game of football together or sat around making daisy chains together. And then when we returned to England, all the boys stood down one side of the assembly hall and the girls down the other. I felt awkward and out of place. It wasn't helped by a pronounced squint that I had and very goofy teeth, and I just felt awkward, self-conscious, and shy. And Weaver is my surname, and Weaver the Beaver was my nickname. So my early years, my teens and 20s, I felt shy and self-conscious. And then, that's easier now. Yeah, so get your teeth fixed. Yeah, so, no, it is much easier as you get older. Less worried about how you're coming across, what other people think of you. So that's good.
Thank you. Lily, I mentioned about retirement and about stopping work. What did that look like for you? I've written a very long question here, but I'm going to read it because I think it's got some important parts to it. In terms of your working life, have you now retired? And if so, how does retirement look and feel for you? Is it how you imagined? Would you do it any different knowing what you know now?
Well, retirement for us was, for me, was moving at 65 from one job to another. This was because both Al and I had both experienced separately a very strong call from God to go and work in India amongst the sex workers there that we had visited on a previous visit. And it was a very strong conviction for both of us. So we prepared for going to India. We did a cultural and language acquisition course, and we set off. Our children were all grown by that time and had lives of their own. And we went to live on the edge of this very, very large red light area in Kolkata in India. And it was the most challenging and the most rewarding, life-changing experience of our lives. And we still miss it desperately today. And it set us on a new track. We were working with people that we knew. We didn't know their backgrounds. Most of them were trafficked. We had to learn their language, and it was Bengali street language, not classical Bengali like the tutors wanted to teach us. We had to learn to read and write in Bengali. Al was very good, and I bumbled along, really, but I learnt enough to make myself understood. And the work we were doing was in a charity which was offering alternative work to the women to give them a different way of earning money to having to prostitute themselves. And so it grew. We were there for 6 years. We came home in 2011, I think it was. It was a absolutely life-changing experience for us.
Amazing story. Amazing. Awesome. Yeah, why not? You've really got to the heart of something I want us to think about, which is, retirement. All the ads are, you get to stop this drudgery of work and sit in the garden listening to Radio 4, and that's going to be awesome. I read a thing this week that 40% of people who retire, there is a 40% increase in depression amongst people who retire than those who don't retire, which I find sort of fascinating, and to do such a life-changing thing at 64. Mark, I know your retirement story I've always found interesting, some of the stuff you found out about those people who retired and after having a very busy, full-on job. Talk about your retirement and how you feel about
Well, one thing that comes to mind is I can't believe it's 11 years ago that I retired. I mean, life seems to speed up as you go on. It's a big change for Karen probably, having me around a lot more. But I tried to do quite a lot of volunteering after I first retired to sort of gradually come down, as it were. And then really, you have just a lot more time to do more of what you enjoy, time to respond to, needs that come along from friends or church or family. Lucy usually has quite a long list of jobs she wants me to do. It's easy. It's just easy, really, to be retired. It's not complicated.
Do you think that was because you had done good preparation for it? Is that a bit in your personality?
I think the sort of coming down gradually by doing a couple of days work up in London and then a day a week on church stuff and so on. I definitely think it's worth preparing. I mean, a big motivator for me to retire were the statistics, which for head teachers, if you retired at 60, the average age, you got an average of 11 years. So I've used that up. If you waited, 13 years, I've got a couple of years to go. If you waited till 65, the average was 11 months. And still is. So that was quite a motivator to retire.
John, what do you feel about the future years ahead of you? Are you more or less anxious about the future years?
I don't feel anxious about the years ahead of me. I sort of feel what will be, will be. I don't know how they'll turn out. I'm thankful that I'm healthy at the moment. That's an important thing, and I appreciate it now, having been seriously ill and kind of thrown into early retirement 15 years ago. So I do appreciate being healthy. So I don't feel anxious for myself about the future. I feel a little bit more anxious and apprehensive for younger people because the world seems to be very, unstable really, and unpredictable, and things are changing all the time and changing at a pace. So I just hope that things work out okay for you younger folk out there.
That leads me on to the next question, and there's one question I want to ask all of you, so let me just ask one more of you, Lily, that when you look at the younger generation, what most encourages you and what are you most concerned about?
To be absolutely honest, I think the younger generation today has a much, much harder life than we had as young people. I mean, my growing up years were between the 40s and the 60s, the glorious 60s. And although we certainly had a great deal more freedom, we could roam around in the country, we could go out of the door first thing in the morning and not come back till tea time in the evening and be perfectly safe. And that is not the case for children now. So I think their freedom has become very, very restricted, which I think is terribly sad. And I think the introduction of screens, mobiles, social media, and now, even worse, AI, these are all things which actually are working to keep children away from all the things that we did as kids, which we absolutely loved. So forming friendships is more difficult. And we are very concerned for our grandchildren, because we can see how media has made them less interactive and more reclusive.
Any things that you're encouraged about from this generation?
I think there's tremendous vivacity there, which we see when we meet them. I think there is a lot more freedom to speak across the generations. You know, I mean, when we were kids, we had to be very careful to be terribly polite to adults and that sort of stuff. Well, that doesn't happen now. No. But that's fine. I mean, kids say how it is, and I think often they say things that we need to hear, which we would never have said when we were kids. You know, we'd have had a clip across the ear. So, yeah, you know, and the world's their oyster now. You know, they can go anywhere they like. For some of them, but I think for a lot now, because even getting a job is hard. Life is really tough for them.
Okay, I think probably our last question, but I do want to ask all of you. And it kind of gets to the crux of this sense that these threshold moments do things to every strata of our lives, including our faith. So what has aging taught you about knowing God? What does this version of you as a Christian look like in comparison to your younger self? John, why don't you?
I spent my early Christian years, or church-going years, if you like, in an evangelical church where things were very black and white and sort of simple, I suppose, in a way, in that every question seemed to have an answer if you just had to find out what it was. And I felt like I had everything in a box, and it was neat, tidy, and straightforward until I got ill a few years back, had more time to think and question and entertain doubts. And through that process, I could have spiraled out of faith and church altogether. And met you, Dave. I confessed how I felt. I thought, I know this guy. He doesn't know me. I'm going to tell him how I feel. And I did. And instead of telling me to go home and read Romans chapter whatever, or get down on my knees and pray a bit more, he said, what you're telling me is really interesting. Let's meet up for a coffee. It felt like instant absolution. And now my faith is very different. I'm just, I delight in questions and the unknown and mystery, and I find all that affirming. You know, our God is sort of beyond comprehension, and there's no point in trying to understand everything. I feel it's just delight in the mystery and wonder of it all, and that's where I am now.
Thanks, John.
Thank you,
Brilliant.
Dave.
Lily, what about you?
Well, I grew up in a Christian family, and because my dad's work took him overseas a lot, me and my older sister spent a lot of time in boarding school because there wasn't the equivalent education that we could get in the countries we were living in. So from the age of 9 to 18, I was in a Christian girls' boarding school. And what I learnt in those years was that God was very judgmental, he was very severe, and he was very distant. And so I became very rebellious. So I can't say they were the happiest years of my life. But then when I left school and started living with my dad was being placed in work here at home, so it was more like a real family. I started to sort my faith out, And my late teens and early 20s, I did a lot of thinking, a lot of reading. It was a time when all the existential books were coming out, and I thought, oh my goodness, this is so depressing. Why would anybody want to be an existentialist? And so, yeah, and I could see quite clearly that, the life that God was offering me was so much more exciting, better than that. So that was when I started really developing my Christian faith. So the spiritual journey began there, and it's still going on. I feel closest to God in nature. It's always been the place where I have felt the nearest to him, and where there's a sort of spontaneous rising of praise just through all the beauty that surrounds us. Prayer has become very important, especially in our latter years, and Al and I do a lot of praying and walking together. So it's a journey that I'm still on.
Lovely, thank you. And Mark?
It's not too dissimilar to John in that I'm just happier and more settled with uncertainty and doubt and not knowing all the answers. I find that quite just a comfortable place to be, where I think when I was younger there had to be an answer. So I think that's quite a big change, and I think looking back over many years, your faith sort of comes and goes, the depth of it comes and goes, but I just think it's important you just hang on to it. Hang on to it through the difficult times and the good times.
Brilliant. Thank you guys so much. Why don't we give them a round of applause? Thank you. Really appreciate it. Oh, that was wonderful, wasn't it? I just want to finish before we sing, and I'm literally talking about a couple of minutes, I promise you. I don't promise you, I promise you maybe 4. But I just wanted to round things off, really. And the Bible has lots to say about aging. In fact, it's a very, very big topic. If you think about the people who did significant things in the Bible, there is a consistency around people in older age doing significant things. You think about Moses, this sort of energetic leader of people. And for 40 years he was a shepherd wandering around in a desert. He was 80 before he met the burning bush, and God changed his life. And you hear story after story about that. There's a beautiful symmetry in the birth of Jesus that lots of older people appear around the story. And the message is, whether it's Simeon or whether it's Zechariah or whether it's Elizabeth, you've been faithful, you've been waiting for this moment, and you're going to see it with your own eyes. That faithfulness being rewarded. It's a constant theme. These are just plucking verses out, but in Job, is not wisdom found among the aged? Does not long life bring understanding? We've lost this ability to spot elders being such an important part of the village that we belong to. Instead, we put people away in homes, and we think that wisdom is found on Instagram feeds and TikTok experiences, when does not long life bring understanding? They will bear fruit in old age. They will stay fresh and green, proclaiming the Lord is upright. The promises of the Bible seem to be that you become more fruitful the older you get. Not being put out to pasture, but becoming more fruitful. That's a beautiful promise. One of my favourite verses in the Bible. Even to your old age and grey hairs, I am he. I am God who will sustain you. I have made you, and I will carry you. Perhaps as your body does become a little bit less predictable, able to do the things that it used to, you need to rely on the sense that God carries us. And most significantly, and I felt like every answer that we got from those 3 beautiful people is summed up in, though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. Isn't that an incredible promise? Isn't that a different way to reframe aging? Yes, there are things happening to your body that are going to age, but you can make a choice to be renewed every day inwardly. And I think that that is just a beautiful, brilliant thing. I'll finish with something I read recently about, I don't know if you've come across this, but somebody once said there's only two people you need to keep happy in your life. So people know this phrase? Your 80-year-old self and your 80-year-old self. They're the only two people that you need to have a fulfilling life. You need to keep your 8-year-old happy. What were the things you did at 8 that brought you life and you enjoyed because you knew how to play, you knew how to be creative, you knew how to be spontaneous, and the adult in you has forgotten about those things. But equally, what are the things that your 80-year-old self is going to say, I'm so thankful to you, Dave, that you did those things then, that you looked after yourself, that you preserved your relationships and you kept connection. That, like Mark's final words, I think my 80-year-old self will say thank you for holding on to the faith that you had through the difficult times and through the good times. Thank you for staying faithful to your wife and trying to be a good father. Because if I am a good father at 80-year-old, those things come really home to roost, the gratitude that I'll have of that investment. So I want to encourage you in two things. If you don't spend much time around older people, you're lacking some discernment and wisdom in your life. Be intentional about that. There's something beautiful about coming to church. We sort of lose this. You can join a tennis club, but everyone is going to be pretty much like you. You can join a bowls club, but everyone will be pretty much like you. You can do yoga, but everyone will probably be pretty much like you. There's something about the church community where we sit amongst and around people of different generations, and that is its beauty. Spend time with younger people. Spend time with older people. There is wisdom in the breadth of what God has done and is doing in all the different generations. I'll finish with a poem and then we'll sing a song by the ever brilliant Mary Oliver. Truly we live with mysteries too marvellous to be understood. How grass can be nourishing in the mouths of the lambs. How rivers and stones are forever in allegiance with gravity while we ourselves dream of rising. How two hands touch and the bonds will never be broken. How people come from delight or the scars of damage to the comfort of a poem. Let me keep my distance always from those who think they have the answers. Let me keep company always with those who say, look, and laugh in astonishment and bow their heads. Why don't we stand together as we close and sing a song together? Amen. Thank you guys for leading us so beautifully today. It's been brilliant. And thank you to Lily and John and Mark for sharing with us. That's been the highlight of my week by a long stretch. Thank you so much. Why don't we say the words of the grace as we finish together? If you've got those, Michelle. Let's say this together. May the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us all evermore. Amen. Amen. Thanks so much for being here today. Do grab a drink. No need to rush off. Hang around and say hi to people. That would be great. And get your kids.